I was over the moon when my husband said, "I love you," for the first time since we got married, but our happiness was shattered when his desperate ex dropped the bomb on me. It was an arranged marriage, so we only met a couple of times before the wedding. He told me immediately that he had just gone through a breakup with a longtime girlfriend, which was the only reason he was going down the arranged marriage route. I was fine with this as long as there wouldn't be any infidelity issues down the line, and he promised. He stayed true to this but was very cold to me for the first few months. In these months, we got intimate very often, but the relationship felt purely physical and lacked any emotional or personal connection. Even the ring he got me was a plain $60 ring from Walmart. Seeing that honestly broke my heart, and I wasn't sure if he would ever love and care about me. The one thing he did for me was notice that I was struggling and overworked at my job. He made 12 times what I was making at my job and told me that I couldn't work and could be a housewife as his income was more than enough to afford us a very comfortable lifestyle. I want to clarify that he never pressured or manipulated me into quitting my job. The decision was solely mine. This gave me much time to get to know him and learn to cook his favorite meals. Despite me trying everything to be the best possible wife to him, he was still super cold to me, and the most affection I got was a smile for anything I would do for him. Suddenly, just before our 3-month anniversary, he asked me if I wanted to join him on a walk after dinner. That walk was the first time I felt him being affectionate and caring. These walks became our new normal and expanded to date nights, spontaneous activities, and better intimacy. I feel super loved and safe with him. Everything became great. He would compliment and appreciate even the smallest things, surprise me with gifts and flowers, and make me feel beautiful. Still, he never said I love you despite me saying it very often, and this was nearing our first anniversary. The night before our first anniversary, we were watching a show together, and around 11:30 p.m., he said let's go for a walk. He had planned this, and our walk went, so we reached my favorite spot in our area, a specific spot along a walking path with a beautiful view of the nearby lake, just before midnight. He apologized for how cold and distant he was in the first few months after the wedding, followed by him telling me how thankful he was to have me as his wife and how appreciating my presence turned his giant pile of bricks into a place he can call home. At midnight, our anniversary, he told me he loved me, got on one knee, slid a beautiful diamond-studded ring onto my finger, and presented me with my favorite flowers he had hidden nearby a few hours ago. He had some friends secretly record and take pictures of this entire conversation. I couldn't stop smiling. His beautiful ring, "I love you," and genuine appreciation meant the world to me. 24 hours and many more I love yous later, we had just got home from our anniversary dinner. We looked at our photos of the previous night and the dinner, and I posted some of them on my social media. A few minutes later, I got a nasty DM from his longtime ex calling me names like hooker and slur and saying I ruined their relationship and she should be the one with the ring and just shitting on my entire existence. She also sent an intimate video of her and my husband. I started crying and yelling at my husband, accusing him of cheating. My husband showed me his phone, which showed thousands of messages from his ex over the past year that he had never responded to. My husband hugged me and held me close, but I couldn't stop crying and asked my husband to leave the house. He reluctantly agreed, hugged me again, promised he would never betray me, and headed to his best friend's place for the night. I feel so insecure because his ex is so much more attractive than I am, and the video shows how intensely they are in love. I asked 2 girlfriends to spend the night, and they came immediately and calmed me down. My husband came by the next day to talk, but I couldn't bear to look at him. I asked him to give me some time alone. He said okay, kissed my forehead, and dropped off some food and my favorite chocolate he had got for me. 3 days passed like this, and I called him to ask if he could return home. He left work early and came straight to me. I didn't even say anything. I just cried when I saw him. He held me close and promised that the only woman he cared about was me, his wife. It's been 4 days since he came home, and he's been giving me flowers, random hugs, and kisses, everything a wife dreams of getting from her husband, but I just can't move on from seeing that video of him and his ex. My husband has been trying to talk to me about this, but I've been shutting down any conversation. He tried again during dinner today, and this time, I blew up at him and told him to leave. It was something in the heat of the moment, but he looked hurt. He packed some clothes and said he would return to his friend's place until I could talk. I tried to stop him when he was leaving, but he left anyway and won't answer my calls. Update, I called him again. He didn't pick up, so I left a voicemail and begged him to come home. I promised we could discuss everything. He couldn't sleep either and came home around 3 a.m. I was still awake and asked if we could talk now. We sat down, and I began the conversation. I explained that I truly love him, but seeing his and his ex's intense chemistry in the video made me feel jealous and insecure. He promised that that was something of the past, that I would be his present and future, and that he only loved me. I apologized for ignoring his attempts at talking to me and telling him to leave. I said I was sorry and promised to be a better communicator. He forgave me and told me he was also at fault. He said he enabled his ex by not blocking her, giving her the idea that she still had a chance with him, which caused her to try to come after me and cause a rift in our marriage. He also told me she messaged him the day after sending the message and video, again begging him to leave me for her. He apologized for his part in letting his ex disrespect me and showed me he had blocked her now. We decided not to go to counseling and just work on things ourselves. For my self-esteem issues regarding thinking his ex was much more attractive than me, my husband reassured me and told me that I'm perfect the way I am and he loves every part of me. We spent a few more hours just talking, and the topic of his ex came up. I asked if he could tell me what happened between them. Long story short, he was reluctant to tell me that his ex of 4 years cheated when he was planning to propose. He went on a bender. His parents asked if he wanted to try the arranged marriage route, and he agreed, saying he was in no condition to make good decisions. We met a month after he got clean, and things went from there. He said he regrets treating me poorly early in our relationship and regrets giving me the crappy Walmart ring because of what another woman did to him and asked for my forgiveness. Regarding the thousands of messages, he didn't block his ex from any form of communication because his revenge showed her that his life could be better without her. Still, he admitted he also found her desperation pretty funny. We read some of the messages together and had a nice laugh before he deleted all of them permanently on his own accord. Talking with him went as best as it could have. He forgave me, admitted to it, and apologized for his part.